These are some interesting and chaotic times that we are sailing into here. In the last month, big changes to the banking industry. Certainly, you've seen what's happened to Silicon Valley Bank and some other banks, Credit Suisse, etc. You've also gotten a feel for what some of the impact was with respect to tech and areas of tech. And you've seen for longer than the past month interest rates rising. As interest rates rise, you'll find that valuations go down. And I would encourage you to get back in touch with the banks that you've talked to and ask them how things have changed in the last month or two. I think you're going to find that what they want to do is have coverage ratios, debt service coverage ratios that are larger than what they previously wanted, i.e., more conservative. So perhaps if you had debt service of 100,000, just as an example, previously they might want 150,000 free cash flow. Now they might want 200,000 for an extra margin of safety. It's important to have the right mindset as we go through these times. Banks need to sell their product. What does that mean? It means that they're going to still need to make loans. They're going to want to make good loans. They're going to want to have coverage ratios that they're comfortable with. They're going to want to have valuations which are in line with what they think they should be. Where you will run into a couple issues is people may think that their business is still valued what it used to be. And if, for instance, multiples have gone from a 5 multiple to a 3 multiple, it's not quite in half, but it's getting close to half. So that may be an interesting discussion to have with them. They might say, well, let's just wait. And they can certainly do that. But what happened to them the last time they waited between last year and this year? And who's to say what happens in the future here? So you may find that they don't like the valuation. That's understandable. And you may also find that it opens a door for you to give them a better valuation, but on your terms. What are your terms? Seller finance. And to have seller finance work effectively, you need a pretty clean balance sheet, not a whole lot of debt, which then again comes back to focusing on businesses which are not for sale, which are owned by older people. But keep your head squared on straight. There's great opportunity in these. There are people who are afraid. Think back to the last time we went through any of this, not back to 2008-9, but back in the pandemic, where deals began to dry up. Banks now are seeing less deals than they had previously seen. Professionals will also see the effect of that. So if you're in the process of searching for professionals to represent you, I think you're going to find them more receptive. But think of the positives that these times bring to bear for you, and continue to reach out more than what you did previously, and think about the solutions you can offer. One is seller finance, where you don't have to go through a bank. The other thing you're going to run into probably is labor and staff shortages and costs. And get creative with your team to think of the things that you could do with respect to helping to solve that labor shortage problem. A lot of times when a business gets so busy that they don't have enough workers, the owners pitch in. When they pitch in, they're not looking for additional people. They're doing the work that they wish somebody else did. So they just don't have the resources to allocate towards fixing their problem with more people. Hence the way you can come in. So keep your mind on what you want, off what you don't want. Look for good deals. And remember that banks need to sell their product, hence they need to make loans, and owners of businesses still are going to retire and still want to transition out, and particularly seller finance can give them a higher valuation than they might get from a bank, provided that the terms that you cut are good. So on that note, take a look at the resources that you have. If you don't have the boot camp, go over and take a look at the all-new Deep Dive Bootcamp on my website, and continue to push forward, allocate your time, and take action on the things that will move the needle the most.